All right, this movie, Get Out, Get Out! I was hanging to watch this for the longest time. I've been following this film since just when it was getting made. There was a lot of hype around it and a lot of the racial tensions, and it was already expected to be a spectacular film. I read it, I loved the sound of it, I couldn't wait to watch it. Americans got to see it, even probably Europeans and the Chinese got to see it months ago. Australia still hasn't got a fucking official release for this film. I've actually just come back from an advanced screening, so I've seen the film fucking finally. But Australians are going to have to wait another 3 days. I believe it's the 1st today, so 3 more days until this comes out. It's ridiculous. Why can't they release this simultaneously or even at the most like a week after the rest of the world gets to see it? But holy shit, this film is fan-fucking-tastic from start to finish. Honestly, I cannot fault this film. The racial tensions are just so thick and so well done throughout the course of the film. It's basically about Chris and his girlfriend Rose. So Chris is a black dude who's dating Rose, a white chick, and Rose wants to take Chris to her family's house to meet the family and, you know, get to know everybody, have a big barbecue and stuff like that over the course of a weekend. And Chris is kind of a little bit uneasy, asking her, you know, should you tell your parents that I'm black? Like, do they know? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, should you tell them? And she's like, no. Why? You know, she dismisses it as, you know, not a big thing, maybe trying to make him feel better and stuff. But, you know, it'll always be in the back of your head, you know, interracial couples. You don't know what parents will think, grandparents, stuff like that. There's always an uneasy feeling. And, you know, the film's not racist at all. It just does a lot of racial tension. And it does it really, really well. You know, it starts off with something small, like they get pulled over by a police officer, and the police officer asks Chris for his identification or his license. And Chris is like, all right, but I wasn't driving. And then Rose butts in and says, hang on, you don't have to show him anything. You weren't driving. And it's just like a bit of tension there. So you don't really know whether the officer was asking him because he's black or because he just wanted to ask him just to know who he's dealing with, because it's procedure. You know, you don't really know. That's just a really small example. But, you know, they don't really... the film isn't racist at all. It just deals with racial tensions in that way throughout the entirety of the film. You know, maybe Rose exaggerated with the cop and there was nothing really in it at all, you know. But when they get to the house, things really get weird. They have a couple of black people there. One's a groundskeeper and one is a maid. The maid is a female lady, a female black lady, and the groundskeeper is a black dude. And they're acting like ultra strange, like to the point where, this is what I love about the film, it's fucking amazing. When you see something weird happen or you hear something weird and you're actually either thinking, what the fuck? Or if you blurt it out by accident, if you sort of got a free mouth and you say, what the fuck? Chris actually says it at the same time. I'll be like, what the fuck is going on here? And it's just amazing how the director manages to capture that both with the audience and with the film. You think, what the fuck? At the same time. Trust me, watch it and I guarantee you'll get the exact same thing. Now, as the film progresses, there's a big build-up. You can feel it, and things are getting weirder and weirder and weirder. The black people in the film are kind of acting like, they're speaking more like white people, and they're acting ultra strange. You immediately think they're some sort of like zombie type characters or something weird's going on. You just can't quite put your fucking finger on it at all. The mother, Rose's mother, is a hypnotist, so you kind of, about halfway through the film, you kind of think something must be going on with hypnotism. And, you know, I'm not giving any spoilers away, but that's, you know, part of the storyline. But holy shit, at the end, you would not pick what's going on. You might pick it, but it's highly original. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm a closure type of dude. I want closure in a film. Fair enough, build up towards a sequel or anything like that you want to do, but fucking give me some closure in a movie. This movie has fucking fantastic closure. I loved the end especially. Oh my god, I forgot to mention Chris's best friend Rod. He's like a comedic relief in this film, and fuck, he is funny. This guy is the best dude, I swear. He's just awesome. He's so fucking funny. You know, he's that type of person like, what the hell? You go to the white person's house? Don't go to the white person's house. What the hell's wrong with you, fool? Like, really just fast speaking and just he's pretty much right on the ball from the very beginning with the advice he's telling Chris. And at the end of the movie, he does it again. There's like a really quiet moment between the two characters, and this is like right at the end. Well, I'm not going to like reveal what happens at the end or reveal the entire plot or exactly what's going on and why weird things are happening. But there's a silent moment between Chris and Rod just turns to him and says, "I fucking told you not to go into that house, didn't I?" From the very beginning, he did tell Chris, "Don't fucking go in there. There's white people are crazy." But that's what I mean. There's racial tensions there, but it's like, it almost makes, the whole race awkwardness comedy. Like, it makes it really fun. You'll have white people laughing, you'll have black people laughing, you'll have black and white people laughing together. They do an awesome job, and man, I cannot fault the film. That was right there in the trailer. I honestly cannot fault the film. You have to go see this. If you're in Australia, this comes out on the 4th of May. So in 3 days, make sure you go see it in the cinemas. If you're in America, Europe, China, probably some other countries, I don't know where else it was released already. You've already probably seen it. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. This movie is fantastic. And driving home, I was trying to think of a fault. Like, how can I score movies out of 13. What am I going to give this movie? I was thinking about 12s and 13s. Some people I read weren't too happy with the ending. They wanted a bit more, as in it wasn't lengthy enough. It was too short, but I thought it was perfect. Other people said the build-up was too long. I never thought the build-up was too long. If I could watch this movie for another hour. It was just that well done. Every moment is good, and it just builds up more and more and more. And it's so fantastic. And those moments, those what the fuck moments, like, what the fuck is actually going on here? There was one really good scene where a lot of relatives come over to the house and they're having a party, and a lot of the people are inside. There's inside, there's outside, they're having a party. There's probably about 10, 12 people inside drinking in different groups, having a drink and having a chat. And there's all these different conversations going on. And Chris walks in from outside and just goes upstairs. And the camera's on. They can capture all these people talking. You can hear all these conversations. Chris goes upstairs. You can hear him walking upstairs. And as he goes upstairs and he's off camera, everyone stops talking. Everyone stops drinking and just looks up, listening to Chris's footsteps. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? It was just a fantastic moment where something's fucked up, but you don't quite know what it is. There's a few conversations Chris has with the maid, the groundskeeper, and also another guest that comes along, a black dude who Chris has a conversation with. But this black dude, he sounds really strange. He talks like I don't know, he's not himself, definitely not himself. And Chris actually thinks he recognizes him and takes a picture of him. And this guy goes absolutely mental and attacks Chris because the flash has triggered something. And that's pretty much all that I'll say about the story. I'm not going to say any more. No more. That's it. What I'll have to do is I'll have to score this movie. I've thought about it. I cannot fault it. So I'll have to give it a 13 out of 13. It's a must watch. The racial tensions are amazing. The comedy's amazing. The best friend Rod is incredible. Probably my favorite character in the film. Great comedy. It really breaks up the seriousness of the film, having a comedic relief, and he does a damn good job. And everyone they're just such strong actors. They're all fantastic. Cannot fault it. I have to stick with my 13. I have no reason to take a point away. Make sure you go see this film, boys and girls. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll keep reviewing stuff. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this film if you've seen it. And if you want specific movies or shows reviewed, let me know as well, and Banning 13 will deliver.